Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Truth Talks with Anita. I'm very excited today to be talking to Colin Valentim. He has been a trucker for a very long time, for about 20 years. And if you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock, there's a big convoy starting and they're going to drive clear across the country. And Colin is the lead of the convoy to end the mandates for Southern BC. Colin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi there, how are you?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
I am busy, but I'm doing good.
Okay, good. So Colin, tell me, you've been a truck driver for over 20 years, about 22 years now. And what's going on for you? Tell me first off, what is your general feeling about the mandates?
The general feeling about the mandates is that I'm against. I don't care about anybody's medical status. That's none of my concern, anybody's medical status. I'm against being told you will do this or else. You will do this or you can't go to a restaurant. You will do this or you can't go to the gym. You will do this or you can't take in entertainment, or in the case of what they've done with the border starting Saturday, this past Saturday, you will do this or you can't have your job.
Exactly. So starting Saturday, there is a new rule that Canadian truckers... Pardon?
Sorry, I'm not used to the fact that I think there's a little bit of a delay. So
yeah, there might be a little bit of a delay, but again, Saturday, there's a new rule that Canadian truckers must be fully vaccinated to cross the border without a pre-arrival PCR and to avoid quarantine or whatever. You basically got to be vaccinated to do your job. Yes, and I am with you and I stand with you because I don't think that is ethical to do to people. Tell me sort of how some of the truckers are feeling, because for the most part, you're driving on your own. It's not like you're working with a whole bunch of other people. It's solitary work, correct?
Well, that's just it. It is solitary work. You're alone in your truck all day. And since a lot of this, there is a lot of places that we couldn't go into. We've been allowed back into certain places, but there is still a lot of places that we just can't go. So it's not really like you're in a contact with a lot of people anyways.
Right. And most of the truckers that you come across, they're feeling the same way. Are they feeling forced? What's the general feeling?
The general feeling that I'm coming across is that people they don't like being told that they have to do this. And that includes the people that could still cross the border. They don't like the fact that they're being told that this is how it will be or else.
Yeah. Do you feel, in your opinion, have you had time to do any research, or do you feel that the vaccines are generally safe, or would you feel more comfortable waiting?
Only on this one, I feel more comfortable waiting. I'm not the personally, I think it's a bit of a derogatory term, but I'm not the quote unquote anti-vaxxer, as they say. I've traveled extensively around the world and I have vaccines. I'm not against vaccines. I would rather wait for something that, in my mind, I don't see how it could possibly be properly tested in the short amount of time that it was.
In the short amount of time that it was brought to market.
Yes.
Yeah. It just came from out of nowhere and it came pretty fast. But, a lot of people are tolerating the vaccine well, which is nice. And some people are having really, really terrible reactions. So I believe it is someone's choice if they want to wait. What has been going on in the trucking industry? Just briefly tell me, what has it been like 2020 and 2021? Like, how's it been going?
It's been a really interesting couple of years. I have to admit, with when we were considered essential, uh, it was all couldn't get it done. There was so much to do that there was so much work that you couldn't do it all.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's still the way it is. I mean, there is still more freight to move than there is drivers to do it. And they're just taking drivers out of play for their own personal agenda, is all I can really see to it.
Yeah, like the supply chain is, you are our supply chain. We affect you, it affects our grocery store shelves and all that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to throw any specific numbers around, because I don't actually have access to the data of what those real numbers are. But they're talking, into the 5 digits of people that will no longer be able to cross the border that are Canadians. That doesn't take into account the Americans that can no longer cross the border as well.
Yeah.
When you call it 5 digits of drivers, that may not sound like a lot in a country this size, or even a country with, even though our population is so much smaller than the United States, it still doesn't seem like much. But when you take a border area like Vancouver or Windsor or areas like that, like the Niagara region, I mean, there is a lot of drivers that are just local guys that may or may not, if they're not able to cross the border, they could be the kind of driver that was doing 4 or 5 loads a day.
Yeah. Yeah. They're needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely needed. Are there, this is going to be a stupid question, but there's like truck drivers that go locally. You don't always have to cross the border. You can transport locally too. And I guess that's not really the issue. The issue is crossing the border, right? You know?
Well, when I say locally, I mean a lot of stuff comes, like for this specific area where we are, a lot of stuff comes out of the Port of Seattle that has to come across the border here. And that's it. That's just where it lands. It lands in the Port of Seattle and has to cross the border to get into our country.
Yeah. And we've already had enough problems. We've had the floods, we've had this, we've had road washouts and things like that. Why make this more difficult on people when it is solitary work? How are you going to make people sick?
I don't really know. I mean, as solitary as it is, and with not being allowed into a lot of places, and that includes a lot of the customer buildings, we have a lot of places I go, you're told to just sit in your truck and wait until they tell you you're ready to go. And a lot of people won't even sign bills at places now. So we're really not running into a lot of people all the time.
Can I just ask you, since I have you here, what is your take on what the heck is going on with the container ships and the trucks in the States and the supply chain issue? What's going on with that?
Again, that's, a little bit above my personal pay grade, but a lot of it comes down to with ports specifically when it comes to container ships, and California very specifically in that. And Vancouver has just recently where any truck that is older than 10 years old is no longer allowed in the ports because it's a quote unquote dirty truck and it doesn't have what they consider to be clean emissions anymore. And again, that's another limiting factor for a guy like myself, because I actually drive a truck that was built in 2000, so well beyond 10 years.
Yeah, you know what? When I heard that in the news, it's something called rolling truck age program. So your truck has to be like 10 years or less. I just thought, my God, like the government does not want to give you a fighting chance. I think that is ridiculous to roll that out. But you know what? There was so much pushback on that. They've scrapped that now.
In some areas, California has gone ahead with it, and it's
Yeah.
it's an interesting situation because it basically what it does is out of the mix. A lot of owner operators, not all by any means, but a lot of them will run an older truck that they've owned for a long while, that they are responsible for the maintenance, and they keep it up. It puts larger companies in because they purchase trucks that they only keep for a little while before they turn them in, and so they have the new trucks, they have the trucks that they can go there, but they can't hire people. There's not an it's just a snowball effect.
Part of you cut out there. There's not enough trained truckers to drive. Is that what you were saying?
Oh yeah, there's been a shortage for years in North America in general, the United States and Canada. I mean, it's actually a worldwide thing. I know a lot of guys that I've worked with over the years that are from the UK, and the UK was actually pushing this year to bring back retired drivers.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with like nurses, they do those mandates and then you lose all those people in the workforce. You do the mandates for the truckers, you lose all those people in the workforce, and they're not replaceable like that.
No, not at all.
No. So, what's happening now? So you're part of a convoy. Tell me about the convoy. This has got a lot of people excited.
The convoy is well, we're starting at 8 a.m. From North Delta, and it originally began as just something that was started by a very nice lady multiple times, and it was just going to be single cities, and it's snowballed and it's turned into this national event, and I think it's great. I'm leaving. I'm roughly the first to be leaving. I shouldn't say the first because Prince Rupert will be, I believe, a day ahead of me. But we're leaving from BC. We're the first coming out of BC. We're rolling into Calgary, where there's a whole group that kind of takes over the reins, the lead. The people coming out of BC that are going all the way to Ottawa carry on with those people and into Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and there is convoys as well that are going to be coming out of the Atlantic side of the country and up through well, from different fingers of Ontario.
And what do you hope to have happen as a result of this convoy?
The end of mandates, period. Like we don't vaccine. We don't want to be told about the masking, especially of children. We don't want to be told about that you have to show papers, if you will, to get into a restaurant or anything like that. This has to stop. We were allowed. Yeah, we were allowed to go and live our life as we saw fit, and that's the way. And it has to go back to that. Period. None of this can carry on.
Yeah, it's wrong. And let me tell you this, if anybody gives you any grief, the medical community, or not the medical community, but the government has, and this is something very controversial I'm going to say, has denied medications to people. So if you get sick with COVID, there are medications that can treat you, but you're not getting those medications. So they are doing something unethical and immoral, forcing all of us to take a vaccination when they're not looking after us in the hospital the way they should be. So if anybody says to you, you're selfish for not taking the vaccine, maybe we can turn to the government and the health orders to say, you are selfish for not providing medications that are life-saving.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been proven in areas around the world. I can't recall the gonna get it wrong, but I believe it's provinces in India. There's a province in India early treatment with those therapeutics right from the start, and they have no problems there.
Oh yeah, and same with Africa. There's a whole list. There's ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, monoclonal antibodies, prednisone. There's povidone iodine mouthwash. There's all kinds of things. There's loads of things that you can take. So if any government says, well, you're selfish, no, you're not selfish. They're being selfish. Now,
Absolutely.
yeah, I want you to know that and carry that in your heart with all the truckers that go across, that you are doing the right thing.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that, and again, it should be a person's choice which way they want to go to take on their own health issues or their own guiding of their health issues.
Exactly. Now, when you get to Ottawa, is it true that once you guys are in Ottawa, you won't leave until the mandates are stopped? I kind of heard that somewhere.
That is the official plan, yes.
Wow. What are you going to do? Just hang out there on the steps of Parliament?
I guess.
Good.
I don't really know. I've never in my life been to Ottawa, so that's something new, I guess.
Well, I hope that works for you, and I hope it works for everybody, because you're doing it for all of us.
Well, thank you. We're trying. It's not a situation I wanted to be put in by any means, but I'm doing.
You're doing it. You're doing it. You cut out. Say that again. You cut out a bit.
It's not a situation that I wanted to be put in, but I'm happy to do as much as I can and my part to get there.
Yeah. Well, Colin, I'm going to post information on the Convoy on the channel, and if you want to update us with your progress or anything you want to say, you know how to get a hold of me. You can update it, and I'll let people know.
I'll just let you know that we do have a website that has gone up.
Okay.
People can find all the maps, dates, time, and it's Canada-Unity.com/bearhug, all one word.
Okay, so Canada-Unity.com/bearhug.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. I'll link that on there. Good. Perfect.
Excellent.
And Colin, thank you so much for everything you're doing. I'll be thinking about you guys.
Thank you for having me on.
And supporting you from my little house. Okay. Thank you. Have a great night, and thanks for talking to me.
You too. Have a very good night, and thank you for letting me get this out there.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.